Hello, students. Wendy Ansley here, kinesiology professor at College of the Desert. Look we have a little guest appearance today. We got our first little puppy. We have 5 kids here, but our first little puppy ever to bring home to this house. And I wanted to share that with you in our sequence today. I just wanted to share this beautiful example of creation, this beautiful example of a beating heart, just a beautiful little puppy here. I just wanted to share that with you today. A beautiful little puppy. I love to put him on my chest and feel his breath. It almost connects me to the yoga postures, the way his breath is and the way his heart beats. And a true aspect of love and compassion. I'm going to send the puppy, the little puppy, back here to meet Roman. See if he'll come back to Roman. Will he come back to you, Roman? Oops, he's coming back to me. Here we go, Roman. You want to come get him, Roman? You want to come get him for our sequence? We're thinking we're going to name him Hero, little Hero.
With 2 R's.
1 R. Here we go.
2.
Aww. That was fun. Aww. So we will get back to our sequence here. Go ahead and shut that door, Roman, okay? Shut the glass. And we'll start off. That was fun. I'm glad to share that with you guys. A special time. We'll start off with a little supine forward fold. We'll clasp our knees to our chest here. And we'll come into a little half happy baby pose. And so I'm going to take that right leg and bend it and either clasp on the outside of the foot, right, or beginner's more under the hamstring. And I'm going to draw the knee towards my shoulder here, and I'm going to breathe into this right hip. And I want to keep the left pelvis onto the ground here, and we're going to stay here several breaths. Gently release, draw both knees together, extend the right leg and either clasp around the hamstring or outer edge of the left foot and draw the left knee towards the shoulder, keeping the right pelvis onto the ground. Breathe into that hip opener. Beautiful. Gently come back to center, kind of knees together here. And we're going to come into happy baby pose, full happy baby pose. So we're going to widen a little bit here, widen, kind of knees, making room for the torso here. And the beginners can either clasp around the belly of the hamstrings, or you can thread the arms underneath, clasping the outer edges of the feet. And this is where you're going to draw the tailbone towards the ground, and you're breathing into this pose. Knees towards the shoulders, lower tailbone towards the ground. Stay here several breaths. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Calming the mind. Opening the hips. Gently release. Draw both knees towards the chest. And draw both knees over to the right. And extend that left arm out to the side. Drawing that left shoulder to the ground, gazing over the left shoulder. Gently release. Guide both knees now over to the left. Spinal twist. Knees stacked over one another. Extend that right arm out. Press through the right hand and then gaze over the right shoulder, trying to get the right shoulder towards the ground. Gently release. Draw both knees to the chest, clasp around the shins. And gently rock the back out a couple times. Transitioning to a tabletop here. Beginning our practice, let's go into, I like to use those blocks if we have those blocks. Our first Adho Mukha, our down dog of the day. And let's take the heel of the hand on the blocks. Lift with those hips, so we're kind of coming from almost like a tabletop here, and coming into Adho Mukha here, and we'll do a little dynamic heel and toe, beautiful. Into a little static hold, press through the palms, draw the tailbone back and down, pubis bone back and up. And we'll stay here several breaths. Transition, we're going to walk it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come into a little forward fold here. We'll do a little dynamic forward fold. It's okay to gently bend the knees and widen the knees as we're warming up. Gently bend the knees, swan dive up, open the chest, open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Gently remove the blocks. As I created this sequence with you guys today, we're going to kind of do a fun arm balance. And with that arm balance, this kind of statement came to play, this little, and I just wanted to share with you. Every time you try, it is a statement of faith. Every time you try it is a statement of faith, and that is an example of life not giving up. trying to do your best. So when I'm on the four corners of my mat, sometimes I do postures that are challenging to me, and I simply, every time I try, it is a statement of faith, trying to do my best, not giving up, showing up, being there for myself. As I draw my hands in, and I'm going to lower my head to my fingertips, and I'm going to simply set my intention for my practice. Acknowledging my efforts, acknowledging my breath, my intention throughout my practice. And we'll get started. Good. So coming to the edge of the mat, we'll start off with a few Surya Namaskara A's. In Tadasana, rooting through the four corners of the feet. We're going to inhale, we're going to draw those arms up, energy out the fingertips. We're going to exhale, coming into a little dynamic forward fold, heel and toe. Inhale, halfway lift, tailbone out and back, gaze forward and down. Framing the feet, we're going to step back into Phalakasana plank. Belly button to the spine, hands under the shoulders. We're going to lower to the knees. We're going to do knees, chest, and chin all at the ground at the same time. Ashtanga Pranam. Shifting those legs back, extending to easy cobra. Press to the feet, shoulders in line with those elbows. Exhale, come into down dog, lead with those hips. Stay here several breaths. Press through those palms evenly, root through the fingers, especially the index fingers. Thumbs come in just a bit, but the fingers are spread nice and wide. Thumbs are spread too. They're just in just a third. Press through the palms, lengthen the spine, tailbone back and down, pubis bone back and up. Firm those thighs. Transition, we're going to walk it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe into those hamstrings. Inhale, swan dive up, open the chest, open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Root through the ground, inhale, draw those arms up, energy out the fingertips. Exhale, come into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Framing the feet, step back into Phalakasana. We'll stay here several breaths. Good, core activation. Gently lower, we're going to do knees, chest, and chin all at the ground at the same time. Tailbone out and back. Shoulder blades down the back ribs. Just awakening the back side of the body. Transitioning, easy cobra. Shift those legs back, hands by the chest. Press to the tops of the feet, and you're simply awakening the lower back. Exhale, lead with those hips. Come into down dog. We're going to walk the feet together in down dog, and we're going to do several heel pumps. So heels come to the ground, and then we releve up on the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels to the ground, and we're going to releve up on the balls of the feet. Good. So now our feet are together on this transition. And we're going to lift that right leg to hip level, one-legged dog. Drawing the right knee to the chest and to the nose. Placing the right foot next to the right hand. Hands to the hips. Let's draw the palms together. I like to take the thumb and index finger together. And we're going to inhale, beautiful low lunge. Press through the top of the back foot. Breathe into that hip. Come into low lunge Anjaneyasana. Gently release. Draw the knee under the hip. Let's tuck the back foot. Take the right hand with the right leg and come into easy triangle. See how I'm joining forces here? So the right hand joins with that right leg and the left arm comes up. So we're in easy triangle. It's a beautiful posture. Breathe into that right hip. Draw length in the spine, preparing for our practice. Inhale, rise. Sometimes I like to take it and kind of move in an opposite direction. So we're going to take the right hand on the hip. We're going to draw that left arm up for revolved easy triangle. Left hand comes on the inside. Right arm is up. And this is where I'm drawing my right top ribs back, my left bottom ribs forward, and I'm kind of drawing that right hip bone in so it's just not flaring out. Gently release. I'm going to frame the foot, the right foot with both hands. Take that right leg back. Transition to down dog. Drawing the feet together. Down dog, heel and toe pump. Drawing that left leg to hip level. Rotating, drawing that left knee to the chest. Left foot next to the left hand, lowering the right knee to the ground, coming up higher. Thumb and index finger together. Come into low lunge. Press to the top of the back foot. Draw the fingers towards the ceiling. Breathe into low lunge. Gently release. Frame the foot. Draw the knee under the hip. Tuck that back foot. Take that left arm with the left leg, easy triangle, and draw the fingers towards the ceiling. Easy triangle. As I press into that ground, I really draw length into my spine and I breathe into the back hip. Gently release. This is where I take the left hand onto the left hip, come into revolved triangle, and I take that right hand down right on the inside, a few inches away, and I press into the ground and I draw that left arm up. I almost kind of firm that left hip a bit and almost draw that right hip inward as my fingers come towards the ceiling. Left top ribs back, right bottom ribs forward. Gently release, frame the foot. Transition back to down dog. try to get the heels close to the ground, firm those thighs, tailbone back and down, pubis bone back and up. We'll stay here several breaths. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Walk the hands and the feet towards each other at the same time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come into forward fold. Breathe into the hamstrings. Draw the sternum and chest close to the shins. Gently bend the knees. Inhale, swan dive up. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Beautiful. We're going to warm up. As always, I kind of have my blocks and straps nearby, and I like to have a wall nearby as well. We're going to take the hands, and we're going to come into the hand dance. So I have my knees under my hips and my hands are under the shoulders, and I like to kind of work on wrist mobility, wrist stability, and kind of strengthen. And so I'm putting a little bit of weight and I'm rocking forward and back. And now I'm taking the fingers and I'm moving them away from each other, and I'm still rocking forward and back. And now I'm bringing the fingers towards myself and I'm rocking forward and back. And now I'm doing the fingers towards each other here and I'm rocking forward and back. And now I'm taking the tops of my hands to the ground, and this time I'm rocking side to side. And fingers come towards one another and rock side to side. And the fingers move away from each other and they rock side to side. Good. So just do, and we're going to shake it out. So the hand dance is just a bunch of little kind of quarter turns and putting weight on and awakening. And we're also strengthening the hands and the wrists, which is an integral part of some of our yoga postures. So again, looking at my quote again one more time. Yes. Every time you try is a statement of faith. Being there for yourself, trying, right? We're going to take the blocks as we awaken our core. Okay, I'm mirroring you. So we're going to start with your left leg. I have my blocks by the sides. And I'm going to take that left leg and I'm going to pulse it kind of up and down. And I'm strengthening the hip flexor. Beautiful. Now I'm going to do the other side. So I'm going to take that right leg and pulse it. Beautiful. And now I'm going to, this is about engaging the core, an L-sit, and lifting the hips. So we'll do a few preparatories. We're going to press through the blocks. We're going to press into the blocks, engage the core, draw those heels back, lift those hips. See how I'm lifting my hips back. That exhale lower. This is an example of how to come into this pose, how to gain that understanding, how to come into this pose, right? So press into the blocks and we'll do this again. Keep the heels to the ground and draw the glutes up. Gently release. Again, and now we're going to come into an L-sit. So you can keep the heels to the ground or you're going to draw those you can get the heels off the ground. Press through those blocks, drive those hips back, heels off the ground. Beautiful. L-sit. Engage the quadriceps. Engage the core. Gently release. Cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Coming into a little hip flexibility. This is part of this pose that we're going to work on, Ashtavakrasana, 8-point angle pose. And so I'm going to draw my left shin, right? I'm going to try to take the leg and kind of cradle it a bit. Cradle it a couple times. Dynamic expression there. And I'm going to draw the shin towards the chest. And see how I'm having a light little awakening of the arch of this left foot. Beautiful. Really coming into a beautiful hip opener. It's okay to almost close your eyes and breathe into this. For myself, I like to kind of explore a deeper expression of this pose. So I take my right hand outside the left foot here, and I come into, see how my fingertips are here? And I almost come into where I revolve my torso just a bit. I revolve, I breathe into that left hip, and I'm opening that lateral side of my body. Stay here several breaths. Gently release. And we'll begin beginning stages of this. Okay, the trunk of the elephant, this is called. We press into the blocks, and we want to use our arms to lift the heavy legs. This is not that hard, so we're simply coming into this pose. Engaging the core, engaging the core. Gently release. I'm going to work the other side, so we're going to draw the right knee in and clasp around the foot. And do a little dynamic expression here, a little dynamic expression. And draw now the shin towards the chest. Beautiful. Sometimes I like to go and explore this pose a little bit as I take my left hand outside my right foot and I come onto my fingertips and I leverage, I clasp the outer edge of the foot and I leverage the rotation of the torso here. Drawing that top shoulder here kind of in a bit and drawing the heart almost kind of towards the ceiling. And I'm breathing into that hip at the same time. So now let's explore trunk of the elephant. So here I have my right knee on top of my shoulder, and I'm pressing into the blocks. And let's engage the core to simply use the arms to lift that heavy bottom leg. Gently release. Cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Let's do this L-sit one more time here. So we're going to press through the blocks. You can keep your heels down for beginners. Draw the hips back if we can. Heels off the ground. Engage the quadriceps. Gently release. Beautiful. Nice. So now we're going to explore Ashtavakrasana again. Okay, I was thinking about a transition, but we're a little bit limited here. So we're going to clasp the left knee. We're going to clasp and bend this left leg again. Draw again the shin towards the chest. Breathe into that hip. Beautiful. And now we're going to take the left shoulder outside, right, the left leg outside of the left shoulder, And we're going to fuller expression here. So we're going to press into the blocks and lift. If we can, we cross the foot underneath, and then we extend those legs. And look at, I kind of lift my hip up, Astavakrasana here. Engage the core. And my shoulders are in line with my elbows. And I gently release, unscissor the legs, and come back down. Beautiful. Cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Having fun. So it's important to have fun in yoga too, right? Drawing the right leg in and clasping around our cradle pose. Drawing the right knee outside the shoulder here. And we're going to lift the bottom leg, right? We're going to lift up, press, lift the leg. Eventually, do we take the foot underneath and we try to kind of bring the sternum forward and we engage the core, right? The hips are lifted. We engage the core, shoulders align with those elbows, sternum forward, Astavakrasana. Gently lower, unscissor the legs, gently lower the glutes. Shake it out. Something to work on. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Yoga can be fun. Removing the blocks, coming into our sequence a little bit. I'm going to straighten out my mat. Coming to the center of the mat together. Tadasana, awaken the arches, spread those toes. Add a little hop here. 5-point star. Press outer edges of the feet, awaken the arches. Clasp those hands behind, open the chest, open the heart, draw the shoulders towards one another. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, rise, belly button to the spine. Adjusting that left foot 90 degrees. Take that back foot, rotate it in. So we're kind of going heel to heel on this, possibly heel to arch for some of you. And we're going to draw the knee towards the pinky toe. In Virabhadrasana too. And we are gazing over the left hand, drawing that left hip inward a little bit, but the left knee towards the pinky toe. And we're pressing that back thigh back. Staying here several breaths. Growing the pose to extended angle. Many of us will stop at I want to have a little bit of space here. 6 o'clock arms. Many of you will stay here. Some of you may grow the pose. This is where we externally rotate the top arm, draw top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Grow the pose from the back foot, through the hips, through the crown of the head, and the fingertips. Inhale, rise. Face forward. Cleansing breath. Adjusting that right foot, pressing outer edge of the back foot. Right knee towards the pinky toe. Press that back leg back and draw the hands, right? Draw the right fingertips here, almost towards that wall, and draw the right knee towards the pinky toe as we grow the pose. shoulder blades, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Grow the pose. Have a little bit of space here. Draw the elbow in, 6 o'clock arms. And now we're going to grow the pose. Rotate the pinky in. Top ribs back. Bottom ribs forward. Inhale, rise. Come back to our Prasarita stance, adjust that foot. Press outer edges of the feet, awaken the arches. Connecting to the shoulders again. Draw that left arm back, clasp above the left elbow. Take the left hand to the right elbow and draw the shoulders down the back. And if you have a hard time doing that, you can simply just connect, hand to elbow each side, even a little gentler than we're doing here. Shoulders down the back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. Press outer edges of the feet, awaken the arches. Inhale, rise. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Take the right arm, clasp above the elbow. Take the other hand, the right hand, to the left elbow here. Draw the shoulders down the back. We're connecting. This is a beautiful shoulder opener. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. Belly button to the spine. Inhale, back flat, root, and rise. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Heel, toe it in. Sometimes I like to take the blocks, dive into a little deeper expression of my standing forward fold. So you can take the feet hip width apart, or you can bring the feet together. It's up to you, but I like to take my toes kind of off the blocks here. And it's here that I still root through the 4 corners of the feet. I activate my arches in my feet. I connect. I'm going to inhale, draw those arms up. Exhale, come into a little forward fold and see if we can go a little bit farther. I want you to come more to the midfoot. Breathe into those hamstrings. Inhale and rise. Open the chest, open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Removing the blocks. We're going to root through the four corners of the left foot, and we're going to draw that right knee up. And we're going to explore now revolved crescent moon. But touching into balance to draw that right knee up, draw that left hip in. Let's take the left hand on the hip and let's try to kind of stabilize this left leg. And now let's take the thumb and index finger to the right foot, if we can, only if that leg is stable. Eventually, we reach it out in Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana here. Foot to hand pose, balance. Gaze forward. Come out of the pose the same way we got into the pose. Draw that right leg back into crescent moon. And this is where my front leg parallel to the ground. I'm going to come onto the pinky toe of that back leg. I'm drawing strength in crescent moon. Left hand on the hip, draw that right arm up. On the exhale, draw the right shoulder outside the left knee. If we can, come into a little prayer twist. If we can, grow the pose. And this is where some of us, if you want to keep the knee on the ground for beginners, you can. But if we can, we grow the pose. And you want to get the shoulder and elbow outside the knee. As we grow the pose, draw the pinky inward. Come onto the pinky toe of that extended right leg. Revolved crescent moon. Parivrtta Hasta Chandrasana. Stay here several breaths. Left hand on the hip, gaze at that big toe. Inhale, rise. Crescent moon. Frame the foot. Step back into plank, whatever our flow is. Maybe it's just down dog, but if we can, let's do partial chaturanga or chaturanga dandasana. Draw the elbows close to the side, sternum and chest forward. Inhale, up dog. Press through the tops of the feet. Draw the pelvis forward, gaze up. Exhale, down dog. Stay here several breaths. Walk the hands and the feet towards one another. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come into our forward fold. Come more to the midfoot. Breathe into those hamstrings. Inhale, swan dive up. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Coming to the edges of the mat again. Rooting through the four corners of the right foot. Draw that left knee up. Engage those muscles around the pelvic hip girdle. I like to kind of keep my right hand on the hip. Draw that femur head in. If we can, eventually, only when we can take and straighten that right leg, do we think about taking the thumb and index fingers around the big toe. And now we're growing the pose. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Draw the knee up. Extend it back into crescent moon. Beautiful. Draw both arms up. Find balance. Find strength. Gaze forward. Right hand on the hip, draw that left arm up. Draw the left elbow and shoulder outside of the right knee. Grow the pose. Some of you may lower the knee to the ground to make it easier. Again, shoulder and elbow outside the right knee. Eventually, we lower the left hand to the ground and we grow the pose. Draw that right pinky and grow the pose from the back foot through the hips. And I want us to rotate that left hip inward just a bit. Come onto the pinky toe. Grow the pose. Connect to that back leg. Almost draw the muscle to the thigh bone. Connect to the breath. Right hand on the hip. Gaze at the big toe. Inhale and rise. Crescent moon. Frame the foot. Into Phalakasana. Either partial chaturanga or chaturanga. Draw the elbows close to the sides, sternum forward, shoulder in line at the elbows. Inhale. Beautiful upward facing dog. Exhale. Come into down dog. Press through those palms. Engage the shoulders. Heels closer to the ground, firm those thighs. Tailbone back and down, pubis bone back and up, belly button to the spine. Stay here several breaths. Walk the hands and the feet towards one another. Inhale, halfway lift. Forward fold. Maybe walk those hands back just a bit. Draw the sternum and chest close to the shins. Inhale, swan dive up. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Come onto the wall here. Take the block to the wall. Beautiful. We're nice and warm. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana is a glute bridge pose, right? And it prepares us for our back bends. There's many great qualities. And sometimes it's fun just to express it onto the wall. And it's a deeper way to transition in and out and just articulate with the spine. So I come to the wall, my feet are hip width apart, my feet are in line under the knees, and of course my hips are under my knees as well. And I actually kind of rotate the big toes in just a little bit. And I have my hands by the sides, my fingers coming up. And we're going to kind of inhale, draw length. I actually like to kind of come up onto my toes and come up one vertebrae at a time. And I come up high. I think about drawing my sternum close to my chin and my sacrum towards my knees. And we'll stay here several breaths. Gently lower one vertebrae at a time. Beautiful. Again, so I rotate those big toes in just a little bit. I kind of press through the wall, and then I kind of come onto the balls of my feet, and I slowly draw one vertebrae up at a time. Sacrum to the knees, sternum towards the chin. Gently lower one vertebrae at a time. One more time, press through the wall. Rotate those big toes in. Clasp the hands if we can, or keep the hands just as they were. Still drawing. I kind of come up high on my shoulders here, and I draw my sternum towards my chin. Sacrum to the knees. Exhale, we're going to lower one vertebrae at a time. Unclasp the hands. Beautiful. Coming out of that pose. Right where we are, let's come to the wall and do one down dog on the wall here before we come into a little bit more of a back bend. So my heels are on the wall and I'm pressing my palms into the ground and I'm firming my thighs. Walk the hands and the feet towards one another. Inhale, halfway lift. Light forward fold, gently bend the knees. Open the chest, open the heart. Expression again of another back bend. I draw I'm about one arm length away from the wall there. And we're going to press into the wall as a prop. Pressing into the wall, and we're going to open the chest and open the heart with that wall. So it's called like a drop back. So I rotate my big toes in slightly to draw length when I do that. So my toes are not out, I'm rotating them in a bit to draw length here, rotating the thighs internally a bit. Inhale, I create length. Exhale, I'm pressing into the wall. You can get a little bit closer with your feet if you need to, if you're nervous. And I'm pressing into the wall, opening my chest, opening my heart. Inhale, rise. Beautiful. I might go an inch or two closer. Sometimes we just adjust ourselves here. Inhale, we create length. Exhale, we press into the wall. Open the chest, open the heart. Inhale, rise. Exhale, heart centered. One more. Inhale, we draw those arms up. Exhale, we come into the wall. Open the chest, open the heart. Inhale, rise. Exhale, heart centered. Beautiful. Let's reach up one more time here just to sometimes I just neutralize my spine a little bit by simply coming into a Tadasana, an Urdhva Hastasana, really. Energy out the fingertips. Rooting through the four corners of the feet, energy out, draw length. Reach the fingertips towards the ceiling, but draw the shoulders away from the ears. Beautiful. Exploring now, we like to do counter poses to almost help the effects of certain postures. So after a back bend, we'll do a little forward fold and a spinal twist. I'm going to draw my left heel towards my sitting bone. Marichyasana A, the sage pose. And I'm going to draw my left hand inward and try my best to draw it around here. And maybe I take a strap for this. For some of you that might need a strap. So here I am. And I might clasp the strap if I need it, right? And if I can, I clasp the hands and I draw my sternum and chest now over the shin. And this is where I want to keep that right foot, a light little dorsiflexion, outer edges of the right foot. Inhale, rise. Extend that left leg, draw that right heel in. Draw that right hand on the inside. And some of us, right, we might utilize that strap. Draw it on the inside, then around that right leg, either clasping the strap or clasping the hand, and then press through that extended heel of the extended leg and draw the sternum and chest forward. Outer edges of that foot, the extended leg, kind of rotating back. Draw the sternum and chest forward. Inhale, rise. Beautiful. Coming into a Dandasana here, we're going to explore a version of big toe pose. It's a forward fold as well, but it's a little bit of a balance. We're going to bend the legs and we're going to take the thumb and index finger around the big toes. And we're going to now extend and straighten those legs and work on finding the balance. The pelvis rotates anteriorly just a bit. Extension of the spine, and we're breathing into those hamstrings. The more flexible we are, we can gently bend those elbows. And maybe we even go against a wall as a beginner here, or utilize the strap. But we bend those elbows, and we draw the sternum and chest close to the shins. And we'll stay here several breaths. Gently bend the knees. It's just a little bit of a body intelligent style of exercise here. And we're going to draw the heels in. I'm kind of coming towards the edge of my mat here. And we're in butterfly pose here. So we take the soles of the feet together, we draw the sitting bones in, and we draw the elbows on the inside, and we breathe into the release of this Baddha Konasana here. It's okay to kind of close those eyes. Breathe into the release of the adductors. And from here, we rock it back into happy baby pose. And so either can clasp around the thighs or draw those elbows on the inside and draw the tailbone towards the ground. Awaken the arches in the feet. Tailbone towards the ground. Breathe into this release of the hips. Beautiful. And preparing for our Shavasana, we're going to extend the arms, extend those legs. And then we're just going to drop and kind of let everything go. Relax the palms, relax the feet. Preparing to come out of our Shavasana, gently bend the knees. Little movements and the fingers and toes. Right arm over the head. Use the left hand to press yourself up. Folding your hands in Anjali Mudra. Reflecting back to every time you try, it is a statement of faith. Showing up, being there for yourself, trying your best, never giving up. Reflecting back on our intention. Namaste. Pick the heads up, look up.